it is mission critical that each and every one of us put ourselves in relationship with followers of Christ.
Absolutely.
And that's beyond the word believers. The word believer and the word follower are two very different words. So we have to put ourselves in relationship with followers of Christ who will hold us accountable.
Absolutely.
If there's one thing that makes the C12 table work, and this can be done in other places, is to be in relationship with other believers where we are vulnerable, we are authentic, so that we expose ourselves. I don't want to, I'm going to tell one quick story because I should.
Mm-hmm.
After I wrote Painful Gifts, the church where we were attending asked me to come and share. Not to sell books, but to come and share. I'm not a bookseller. That's not what I do. I went, and there was the deacon body was 100 people. Massive, a huge room. And I shared this story not to be judgmental or critical, but because it's so important. I said, guys, I want you to know that this transpired while I was sitting next to you on the pew in this church. And so my point is not to be judgmental. My point is we can be next to people, and we can be in close proximity to people in a religious environment, and people not know what's transpiring in our life.
It's all too common. I mean, it's just
Yes.
all too common
Yes.
that the person we sit next to on that pew, we don't really know.
Correct.
We don't know what their challenges are. We don't know, they don't know what our challenges are. We don't know what God's doing in their lives. I mean, this is again, this is not a judgment of the church, but it's a failure on some level of how we do Christianity by not getting down to a deeper level. And I mean, this is one thing that has probably the thing that has moved me forward in my spiritual walk while sitting at the C12 table is you can walk into that room. It's the only room I can do this, okay? If I'm struggling with something with my wife, I can walk in there and say, guys and ladies, because we do have Brandy's there with us. I'm struggling with this. And to be able to walk, do you know that you can't walk into a lot of churches, a lot of small groups, and say, I am struggling with this. I got a problem with my wife, or I've had this failure. And the great thing about it is it's not a pity session. It's an accountability session where sure there's a lot of love that flows out of that. There's a lot of support. But when it's needed, there's also a sternness that says, you need to make a change.
That's correct.
You need to do something different.
And I've seen you give counsel to others in that room in love, very kind words, but also very direct. The thing that we should not miss, you and I should not miss, anyone who watches this should not miss, is the reality of it is, because of our sinful nature, we really don't want that environment. Scotty, as I was writing, nobody ever told me this. As I was writing, it became crystal clear to me that compartmentalization is something that we want. We really want a ticket to heaven and freedom to live as we choose to on earth, because that is our sinful nature.
Absolutely.
That is our sinful nature. When Paul in Romans 7 says, I know what I want to do, I don't do it. What I shouldn't do, I do. And at least in the NIV version, he says, I am waging war. And we are waging war. Even even in my deep spiritual journey, which continues, I still wage war. I still wage war. And if we are going to grow into God's likeness, if we are going to be a vessel through whom God breathes, which is what He's called us to do, if we're going to be a vessel through whom God breathes, we have to put ourselves in authentic, vulnerable community. Because if we do not put ourselves in a place, I'm going to repeat myself, in a place of authentic, vulnerable, safe community, we will compartmentalize. And we will all find dark things in our independent world. And we should be really conscious, because the sinful human nature desires that.